Sundown on Fox Sports Radio 1500 My name is Bob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We've got a packed talk about the in the it's a mess. That's pretty much the only thing that I can say with some of the coaches hires. And I got to start last night. There was issues. Bring that down. There we go. There were issues with the program at Notre Dame. And there's big problems down there with that. Their coach decides to leave. And he's heading to LSU. So we'll see what's going on with that. It gets worse, though. He's taking the offensive coordinator with him. He's taking the defensive coordinator with him. It's a mess. Now, of course, there's talk all the way around the country about X player going here, Y player going there. Yeah. When you stop and look at it, there is a lot to look into as far as certain jobs that we thought were great jobs when we were kids now are not great jobs. Yeah, there's that. No one really wants to hear that, but that's the absolute truth. Terry with an interesting comment online. So he's taking a bad coaching crew to LSU. Wow. I mean, that's kind of one way to look at it. But when you step back and you look at the coaches that are in the SEC now, let's go up and down the rankings here. Not rankings, just up and down the roster of coaches. In the West, you've got Nick Saban, Lane Kiffin, Brian Kelly. All three of those are considered. I would consider. I mean, maybe Kiffin and Kelly have got to win a little bit more, but Nick Saban's over there as well at the top. You got Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin, Mike Leach, Jimbo Fisher, and of course Sam Pittman. Now, the interesting part is that what you've got: Saban's got a national title, Fisher's got a national title. In the East, you've got Billy Napier, who just got hired at Florida, Kirby Smart, Mark Stoops, Eli Drinkowitz, Josh Heupel, Shane Beamer, and Clark Lee. Kind of heavy tilted towards the West. There are some pretty good coaches in the West. Just kind of looking at that. By the way, Kentucky has locked up Mark Stoops. They announced today they agreed to a contract extension with him that now runs through 2028 and contains guaranteed extensions in any seasons with 7 wins, giving him another year extension, or 10 wins, gets another year extension. So there's that. You've got all of that in the mix there for Kentucky. One of the other things that Stoops wanted is he wanted an indoor practice facility without a track, because apparently they had like a multi-use facility. And that was part of his contract demands from what I've been told. So Kentucky, he has cashed in on that season that he had with them up there. What, they're 9-3 right now? And he's cashed that into a mammoth contract. So good for him. You do your job, you get what you're supposed to get. But Kentucky fans, they are, I'm assuming, happy. They're keeping their coach. Loose Hypocrisy with a great quote online. Did you ever think we would say or hear the phrase locked up Mark Stoops? No, but you know what? There were people out there that wanted Mark Stoops. I thought he would have been a good hire at Oklahoma. You know, but there's other things too. There's a lot of this is just, hey, I'm not going to say anything until I get paid. which is what you're going to have with a lot of these coaches. Prime example on this is Shane Beamer here at South Carolina, one of the lowest paid coaches in the SEC. You'd think that if Oklahoma, which, by the way, they are definitely, according to the fan base, they love Shane Beamer down there. You think that wouldn't be something that would possibly get him a raise at South Carolina, which he deserves a raise, to be honest with you. After the season they had where thought they'd win 4 games, they ended up winning more than that. So, yeah, a lot of people aren't saying anything just so they'll get paid. There is a big conglomerate of folks that I don't understand. I don't understand why people want to knock Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's been successful everywhere he's gone. Now, you can mock him for the fact that he left Cincinnati kind of the same way that he left Notre Dame. I think there's a bit of hatred among a lot of SEC fans. They're like, well, he coached at Notre Dame. He doesn't know what he's doing. Brian Kelly is a much better coach than a lot of people think that he is. Go back and look at the CFP rankings since the start of it. Yeah, they got hammered in some games in the CFP. I'll give you that. But the reality is this. They finish they're consistently in the top 10, top 12. I think the problem with a lot of SEC fans that are like, oh, well, he won't last here. They're scared that they're going to come in and they're going to be a little bit better than you are. That's just the way that it is. Brian Kelly's a hell of a coach. And if you think that he's not, then I honestly can't help you. Can't help you. Can't help you with that. If you want to talk about that, 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Randall's got a good comment there. He's recruiting with his hands tied at Notre Dame. You're right. Academic standards are higher at Notre Dame. He doesn't have that problem at LSU. So there's that. The Beast Bailey says he can win a lot of regular season games, but he can never win the big game. Well, under that logic, he's Kirby Smart of the Midwest. Why not? Georgia fans don't like that, do they? Let's go out to the phones. 803-978-1832. Welcome into the rundown. Good afternoon.
Hey, this is Bob, you the actual Missouri fan again.
What's up, Bobby? How are you?
I'm doing great.
You can't be doing that well after the way that Arkansas kind of handled your guys.
Well, Arkansas was the better team, but that's kind of one of the things I would like to talk about is that yet again, we have another team that had a good season, 8-4, nothing to joke about, 4-4 in the SEC. But well, if you listen to their fans, they are on the cusp of the college football playoff next year. I mean, it's
who are we talking
ridiculous.
about? Who are we talking
Arkansas
about?
fans.
Oh yeah, well,
Arkansas fans.
They're silly.
Yeah, I've gone to some of their forums and listened to them, and it's just like, they're like, oh, we finally got that Missouri monkey off our back. We shouldn't have lost all them games all those years. And I'm just like, okay, Missouri was the better team then. You guys are the better team this year. Fully admit it, but you're not on the cusp of the college football playoff. You're going to probably have to get better over the years, but it's just been gnawing at me. So, but I shouldn't let that kind of stuff bother me.
Well, you should be worried about the fact that at Mizzou, Connor Bazelak was put out on the field to basically die in that game, and Eli Drinkowitz was he was behind his guy, but Bazelak looked like he was hurt. I have no clue why he didn't get him out there and give somebody else a chance.
Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. I mean, we had really thought as Missouri fans, we thought Connor Bazelak had made the turn to be a better quarterback this year. It doesn't seem to have panned out. I mean, I don't know how injured that Bazelak was or was not during the Arkansas game. I mean, he's probably a competitor, says, don't take me out, coach. But, I did see that he did appear to be having some difficulties out there. But, like I said, I'm not on the sideline, so I don't know exactly what was going on there.
Right.
The other thing I'd like to talk about is that why isn't Tyler Beatty getting any, and I repeat, any talk from the national media in the Heisman numbers? I mean, he is.
Well, that's because there are a segment of folks that they look at Mizzou and they think that, oh wow, Mizzou's actually in the SEC. There's a lot of people that feel that way. Tyler Beatty, if you watch him play, he had five games this season, 200 plus yards. Yeah, I mean he deserves to be in that conversation. See, the problem is that there's going to be a segment of folks that are going to be like, well, he plays at Mizzou. Then they're going to be the same section of folks that are going to say, well, they play a tough SEC schedule. But in their eyes, Mizzou doesn't play a tough SEC schedule. It's just it's the logo on the side of his helmet. If you put him somewhere else and he did the same amount of numbers at a blue blood program, they will be talking about him going up, at least being in the conversation to win the Heisman. I'll take Tyler Beatty as my running back. If you were offering, I think he's a great running back. I really, really do. I mean, he had 41 carries the other day and got better as the game went on.
Workhorse. I mean, he was taking a beating out there, and he was like, give me some more. I mean, that's the thing is that Tyler Beatty is that he's probably the best running back in the SEC. Actually, I know he is. He might be one of the best running backs in the country. And I always thought the Heisman Trophy was the best college football player of that year.
Well,
it's
not because they don't
player from the most popular school.
It's flawed logic. It's not because they don't take defensive players, but hey, man, we'll see where Mizzou goes in the bowl game, man. I mean, they're like Switzerland to me. I'm all right with Mizzou. They're all right. But
I think the future looks good. I mean, we really thought they were going to make the turn, but then again, I was taking the thing like, hey, we had a great season in 2020, so we got to have really be better. So, and that didn't happen, but we'll see. Hopefully, Brent can keep improving, get better recruits, and that's the thing. Is just he's got to keep working at it. Keep working at it.
Well, I appreciate you calling and listening to the program, man. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Yeah, man. All right, one more call. Welcome into the rundown. Good afternoon.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
Good. What's up?
Hey, I'm a disgruntled Louisville Cardinal fan.
All right.
And
by the way,
I want to know how
longer.
much
Hold on just a second. Screw your team, by the way, because I thought that they were going to handle Kentucky. And what did they do? They went out there and basically made me look stupid. So they're on the they're on the list of screw you teams right now. I'm not very happy with the Ville.
Yeah, and neither of the fans. We're not happy with Sunbelt Scott. And he needs to be replaced.
Well, we'll figure that out. I don't think they're going to fire him, though. So,
yeah, but that's what I was calling about. We look about getting a new coach.
All right. Well, good luck with that, buddy. Have a great day.
You too.
Welcome into the rundown. Good afternoon.
How's it going, Rob? Bluegrass Sports Media.
Hey, buddy. What's up? I apologized to Kentucky yesterday. So if you're calling to ream me about that, I already said yesterday they made me look stupid against Louisville. I talked about Stoops getting a contract extension. Can we move on to basketball?
No, it's not basketball season until the bowl game ends. But Stoops getting an extension really brightened my day. But you said you've already talked about that, so we won't talk about that. I've heard that Kentucky may be in the running to get Zach Evans from TCU. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, that's the big wide receiver, right? Is he a wide receiver?
No, he's a running back. He's the one that committed to Georgia, then decommitted with a letter of intent. Yeah.
Look, it's hard for me to get into all of that because it always seems like there's something where you have a guy that's supposed to transfer in somewhere and he's supposed to be outstanding, and then sometimes they never see the field. Eric Gilbert's a perfect example of that. So it's kind of hard for me to even remotely think about that when it comes to guys in the transfer portal. Until they go and actually line up, it's kind of hard for me to say, okay, this guy's going to make a difference or not, you know?
I agree, but I think it's a little different in this case because he's not transferring because of like grades. He's transferring because his coach left, which isn't exactly the same thing, but it could be. You never know with those guys.
Yeah, good point, man. I'll follow along with that, but I honestly don't know. I wish I had more info on that, but it's hard to keep up with the transfer portal because there's so many people in it.
And as far as the Kelly to LSU, I think it's going to go well if he gets a good coordinators. If he can bring Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame, I think it goes well. I think if he doesn't get a really good coordinator on the defensive side of the ball, I think he's going to be fired there in a few years.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate you calling the show, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Yep, no problem.
All right, here we go. One more call here. Welcome into the rundown. Good afternoon.
They're already trying to fire Chip Kelly. He can get fired. Look at that buyout going to be.
What are you talking about?
I just heard the man say he thinks Chip Kelly will be fired in a couple of years. He don't get a coordinator. He's going to be fine. LSU got after.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said Chip Kelly. We were talking about Brian Kelly, right? I just want to make sure we're talking about the same guy. Yeah, it's Brian Kelly.
Yeah,
is
Brian
going
Kelly.
down. Yeah, okay, cool.
Name, whatever the name is.
Yeah.
I don't keep up with other coaches though. You know what I'm saying? But we know it's basketball season now.
Okay.
It is basketball.
It's been basketball season for Florida since August, but okay.
Yes, that's right. We undefeated too.
Sure you are. Look, I know
That's
the
right.
bowl season sucks for you guys because you're going to the
bowl games don't mean nothing. I don't watch bowl. I told you once before, I don't watch bowl games.
well, you're going to the OnlyFans.com bowl game. You're going to be promoting.
I'm not going to
foot
watch.
fetishes
I
and
do
everything
not
else.
listen. I will not watch bowl game. Only thing I'm going to watch.
You will watch
is the
your
playoff
Florida
game.
Gators. You'll watch your Gators.
No,
Let's not lie to
I
ourselves
will
about it.
not. I do not watch bowl games. There's too many bowl games. I don't have time to watch bowl games.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
be somewhere making money.
Well, then you can sit there and make money, but I'm going to enjoy my holiday season and I'm going to watch the bowl games, even though I think there are too many of them.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yes. I'm going to watch this weekend. Watch Georgia get busted in Alabama.
All right.
No doubt, and that's gonna be my bowl game.
That's your bowl game. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you, Hollywood. Hollywood joining the program. I got nothing for you on that. Nothing for you on that. 803-978-1832. Quick break. We come back. We'll have more for you here on the rundown. This is Fox Sports Radio 1400. All right, Jay, I'm not deleting your comments, buddy. If someone's deleting your comments, one of the admins over there in YouTube, I can't help you. I don't know what they're doing with all that. So I can't help you with all that, man. Sorry about that. I want to see whatever it is you got there. You know, you don't offend me, so. Dominic Key Trump, I can block you though. If you're going to come in here and talk sports, we'll talk sports, but I'm not doing politics. Don't care. So, you know what? I'm just going to block you anyway because you're an idiot. That's how this works. Hold on. Let's see here. I'm just going to block you. Bye-bye. There you go. Look, I didn't block any of your stuff. With my setup here, I can block a user, but I can't pull a comment. So my show centers around sports. I don't want to talk politics with anyone because I don't care how you vote. I don't care. Vote however you want. I don't care. Yo, if I find out who's blocking you, though, we'll fix that because that's not good. They shouldn't be blocking comments unless you're saying racial things or stuff that may make the show look bad. I don't care what you put up there. I don't care how you vote. You don't care how I vote. There we go. We're all happy. Welcome back to the Rundown on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Out to the phones we go. Noted Big Ten apologist and Ohio State fan Buckeye John joins us. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, Rob, what's going on? Hey, man, that was a tough loss Saturday. But my Bengals made up for it Sunday, so it was okay. But I got a question for you. If Iowa were to beat Michigan, okay, if Baylor were to beat Oklahoma State, and just everything goes haywire,
right,
who would the committee put in? I'll let you talk. Thanks.
I've actually got that in my my next segment here. My predictions for the playoff rankings for tonight. Yeah, it's kind of tough, man. I think that if all of that happens, you kind of have to look at Notre Dame. I mean, there's a lot of things that are in the mix there that I wish that I could come up with something better to tell you than that, but it looks like Notre Dame would go, and their athletic director today said, yeah, we're not going to name an interim coach. There's a level of arrogancy with Notre Dame fans, by the way. Their mentality is we're the best football program in the history of all time, and that's the way that they feel, and that's fine. But with that statement, he said our staff is strong enough that none of this matters. If we have to name an interim, we will. Look, let me break that down for you. He's got somebody in mind, or he's going to promote one of the other guys that are there, either Reese or Freeman, to take the head coaching job. Now, Freeman, the word around that you can see from all kinds of different sources is that Kelly wants to take him to LSU and make him the highest paid defensive coordinator in the country, pay him more than Brent Venables. Now, that may happen. But if the Notre Dame athletic director goes to him and says, look, you can run the whole show here, I don't think he's going to be a defensive coordinator anymore. So there's that too. And by the way, the satchel on Kelly, a couple things happen and Notre Dame could be in the college football playoff. He got a 10-year, $95 million contract, whatever the numbers are at LSU. And I'm not saying LSU's a bad job. I'm just saying you're leaving Notre Dame, a team that a couple things happen. They could be in the playoffs. Yeah, you're gone. I wonder if there's something else behind the scenes. Loose Hypocrisy says, arrogance at Notre Dame. The hell you say? Yeah, funny. Jimmy says, Skip Holtz to Notre Dame. No. Nope. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown this afternoon. My buddy Carolina Jackpot tweeted out something earlier, and he said, it's really funny, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the national media basically slapped around South Carolina for hiring Shane Beamer, but now the national media, over inexperience and everything else, but now the national media is like, man, Shane Beamer would be a good hire here, there, and everywhere else. Silly the way that stuff works out. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That's the number to call if you want to join us today. And back out to the phones we go. Welcome to the Rundown.
What's up, my friend Rob?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
You're down in the land of Cajun country. Are you guys happy with Brian Kelly? Because I think there's a segment of folks that are not LSU fans. Like, we'll put it out there. I think Alabama fans aren't happy about it. I've seen some stuff from those fans and several others. He's going to come there and be successful. He's been successful everywhere else he goes. Now you don't have Orgeron there. You got somebody that can actually coach. Yeah, that doesn't work out well. Doesn't work out well at all.
So I've been reading everything I could read on this, and the one thing that kind of gets me is that, so the first notion is he has no ties to the area, so recruiting is going to be a hard go for him at first.
Nope.
And maybe that is the case, but you know who else didn't have ties to the area? Nick Saban.
Exactly. I'm not comparing him to Nick Saban, though. That's not really fair.
Oh, I'm not either. I'm just saying.
The whole adage of recruiting, the ties thing makes sense, but in reality, he's already said he's keeping his recruiting coordinator, the guy that was there that had LSU as a top 10 class. So you're going to have the same guy that was pitching in living rooms, basically introducing this guy and saying, look, we've got stability now here at LSU. We know who our coach is, and look what he's done in the past. There you go.
The thing that I would tell people when they're like, well, this isn't the home run hire people think it is. He's done pretty good for himself recently at Notre Dame without the talent pool that LSU has. A lot of people seem to forget Ed Ogeron was a world-class recruiter. The cupboards aren't bare at LSU. He's going to have talent to coach, and he's an actual coach. He's not, the Cookie Monster. Go Tigers. Every they fall real hard. So I think from an LSU fan perspective, that most LSU fans are going to be happy with what he's capable of doing. Comparing him to Lincoln Riley, which is another thing I've seen a lot of. He's the Lincoln Riley of the independent schools. He could never get over the hump. Well, like I said, he's not had the talent base that Alabama, Clemson, LSU, Georgia has. Now he does. So we'll see. The guy's been winning. I know that. He's been winning more than Ed O. I know that.
Well, Terry makes a comment online, says he doesn't coach well against SEC competition. He doesn't play SEC teams every year. SEC teams every year. So the adage that, he won't do well against them because he got blown out by Alabama, got blown out by Clemson too, did get a win over Clemson in last season. If you think Brian Kelly is not a good coach, come talk to me next November when LSU, I think, wins 9-10 games and he slaps around a good segment of the SEC. He may not have the team next year to compete with Alabama. I think he's a better coach than Jimbo Fisher, and they're paying him a ton of money at Texas A&M to go 4-4 in the conference and 8-4 overall. He's the second. He's the second best coach probably in that division. In the West, he's probably the second best. It wouldn't surprise me to see him
do well quickly.
Yep.
So, when people say, Lincoln Riley, if you look at his progression at OU, he did worse every year.
Right.
Like it didn't get better; it got worse. He went from not winning. He went from not making the. So he made the CFP 2 years in a row, right? And then last year he didn't make it, and this year he's not even winning the conference. So, but Chip Kelly has competed well. 10 wins a season for the last 5 seasons.
Right.
And he's not got the talent pool that OU, like I said, OU and Clemson and Alabama, those other top-tier schools have when you think the people that are competing for national championships, Ohio State, Michigan, those guys. The whole thing, the last 48 hours has been absolutely absurd.
It has. And, I appreciate your call, buddy. Thank you for calling down there from the Bayou.
All right, Rob.
Day, man. Thanks a lot. All right, look, I'm in the mix with, I think Brian Kelly's a heck of a coach. I think that, in my opinion, LSU got a home run hire. I mean, really, really big home run hire. So there's that. I don't think that that's even really up for debate. I think the people that think that he can't coach, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Trust me, it sent shockwaves across the country because he's been successful everywhere he's went. Now he's going to have a lot more as far as he doesn't have to really deal with the academic portion of it that you have at Notre Dame. I'm not saying LSU is a school for dummies. Don't come at me with that. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that are better about the LSU job than they are about the Notre Dame job. So we'll see how that works. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to call if you'd like to join us here on the Rundown this afternoon. Quick break. We come back and give you my projections for how the CFP rankings are going to go tonight. This is the Rundown. You're listening to Fox Sports Radio 1400. I think Kiffin's a good coach. Kiffin may go to Miami. I didn't see your, you asked for my response on something there. I didn't catch your question, so sorry about that. Repeat the question, and I'll tell you what I think. I do need some herbal tea, man. It's like my allergies are killing me. Yeah, Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame has several options. I think they're going to try to promote Freeman. So I think that's the way they want to go. If you got herbal gummies, Jimmy, you better share them. Mark Stoops re-signed with Kentucky today, their SEC dog, through 2028, so they're not going that route. I don't listen to Kirby Smart's press conferences. It's generally full of lies, so I don't listen to it. This guy is doubtful, and then he's healthy. I just don't listen to it. It's like listening to Will Muschamp. It's not worth my time. Welcome back to the rundown. Let's go out to the phones. Welcome into the program, Mr. Carolina Jackpot. What's up, buddy?
Rob, I just wanted to chime in on the Brian Kelly thing. I was listening to our proverbial friend in the upstate on an unnamed radio station.
He's your friend, not mine. Let's make sure we put that out there. I'm friends with you, but not him.
I remembered, oh, heck, Rob is doing the radio show over on our channel. And he seems to think that the Brian Kelly to LSU hire is one of the great all-time hires.
I don't know if I would go that far, but I think it's a good hire. I mean, he has to go out and prove it first.
Okay. Well, I mean, I listened to one of the other callers talking about how, he's not had the talent that a Clemson has had. He hasn't had the talent that a blah blah has had. And I looked up his recruiting rankings like the past 3 years. They have finished like 15, 13, 17, somewhere in that range. So not in the elite level. They don't recruit terribly, but they don't recruit. They have some disadvantages that other schools don't face. But my thing about this guy is, yeah, he recruits at a little bit of a lesser level, but how do you know how really has he really developed that talent? I mean, every time this team has played in like a major bowl game or they've made it to the playoffs, they get absolutely obliterated. Just listen to the Uncle Lou channel. He'll tell you, because he talks about it all the time, that they haven't won a major bowl game since 1990. 1990. I don't know. I just don't know about this guy. What are your thoughts about the whole situation?
I like Brian Kelly, and I think he's the second best coach in the West right now, and a lot of that's got to do with that. I think Lane Kiffin's going to Miami, as Jackpot hangs up on me there, but that's fine. Yeah, I think he's a good coach, and I think that he'll have things at LSU we didn't really have at Notre Dame. I think he's going to win, really do. So you're gonna have some really. The West is an absolute. It really is. What's the term that I want to use? I mean, it's stacked in the West. It really is. I mean, Mississippi State's a good team. Ole Miss won 10 games this year. Alabama's Alabama. LSU's got Brian Kelly. The West is what the SEC, that's what they should be chanting about, not the East, because the West is where it's at. It really, really is. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. I don't understand why all these people are upset that Kelly's going down there. I think he's just a good coach. He's a good coach. He'll have the opportunity. And you know what? We have the bookcase of accountability here in the studio. If he doesn't do well, I'll come back on it. I don't care. I'm wrong on things a lot. But I'm pretty confident with this one. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. Someone said he won't recruit well in the South because he's anti-gun. Get the hell out of here with that. Out to the phones we go. Welcome into the program.
Hey, Rob, this is the Biscuit.
Hey, Biscuit, how are you, sir?
Good. Just wanted to make a few comments on this coaching hire.
Sure.
I think Brian Kelly is a good hire overall.
Right.
They, to be honest with you, Notre Dame is not an A+ job anymore. It's probably more like a B job, and he's made them into an A- type of team with the talent he's had. I think he gets more out of his talent than a lot of teams do. So with what Carolina Jackpot was just saying, yeah, he's getting blown out by the top 3 teams in the country.
Yeah.
I think he's done. If you look prior to him being at Notre Dame, the 20 years prior to that, they weren't doing anything. They weren't sniffing 10-win seasons. Now, the one problem he could have at LSU is like a lot of Southern programs, your relationship with the biggest donors is very important, and he tends to be kind of surly. So if he comes down there and he acts like the exalted king, kind of like he does it at Notre Dame, that may not work well. But then again, winning helps everything. Everybody will put up with something if you win. So, I certainly think it's an upgrade.
I think that it's fair to say that with everything that's out there, I think it's a heck of a hire for LSU. It really, really is. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does too, because what folks are coming at me with is that he doesn't do well against SEC competition. Well, we'll find out now. I don't think they'll compete with Alabama next year, but we'll find out how good they are.
That is true. I mean, the Georgia games, the 2 games they played against Georgia were fairly tight. He got blasted off the field by Alabama in the national championship, back in 2013.
Clemson blew them out one year too. Clemson blew them out and
they split with Clemson. You're right. They split. They actually got a decent win.
They split. What was it last season when Lawrence had COVID-19? He didn't play up there, and Clemson lost in overtime. Then the ACC championship game, Clemson won by 30. So, yeah, I mean, he doesn't have that opportunity to go out on stage like that, a big stage, and play. But I think he's going to be fine down at LSU. I really do.
Yeah, no, I think he'll do a good job. It's just a question of what level he gets to. I mean, I don't know how old is he? Is he 60?
He's 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as far as the other, it was weird because it seemed like the coaches were the square piece went into the round peg and the round peg went into the square. When you're talking about, Kelly and Riley, and it just seems like there's some odd coaching maneuvers that I wasn't expecting at all. As far as the Napier thing, I don't know anything about him. So he's taught, anyone who says he's going to be a huge success or he's going to be a huge failure is lying, because you have no idea. It's completely. We've seen guys that were great mid-level coaches and they go to a big program, they can't handle the pressure or they can't handle dealing with the big donors and that sort of thing.
Look, let me ask, who do you feel more confident in, Kelly or Napier? I mean, it's Kelly. Both. Yeah, I mean,
absolutely,
because of the track record that he's got. So yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen seasons where he opens up like this season, where his team opens up, doesn't look very good, and they get better as the season goes.
Yeah, he makes adjustments, and he's a consistently good coach. So we'll see how it runs out, though. He may go into the SEC and fall on his face. I don't know, but his track record says that he won't.
I feel like he overachieves, and like I said, he does hit that brick wall against the top 3 or 4 in the country, but that's because he's taking players with lesser talent and pushing them up to where they're on the fringe level of being elite, and then they get bounced backwards.
Yep.
But I don't think with his roster, Nick Saban is winning national championships.
Okay. That's true too. All right, man. Hey, Biscuit, thanks for calling the show, buddy. I appreciate it.
Sure. Talk to you later.
Welcome into the program. Good afternoon.
I don't understand these people that think this is a bad hire for LSU. Let me get this straight. The last 3 head coaches for LSU have all won national titles. 2 of them are something called Les Miles and Ed Orgeron, but somehow Brian Kelly's going to get there and fall on his face? Potato.
I agree. I think he's going to be fine. So there you go with that. All right, quick break. We come back. We'll wrap up today's show. This is the rundown. We'll have CFP projected rankings for tonight here in just a moment on Fox Sports Radio 1400. Yeah, that's going to be, Blake, that's going to be an interesting matchup where Kelly and Napier next season. That's going to be fun. I think the book on Napier is that he is he's boring, but, he does get the job done. All right, 803-978-1832 if you guys want to join the show, the final segment today, as we get set with the CFP rankings tonight. I wonder how they're going to set those up. Wouldn't that be crazy if Notre Dame ended up in the playoff? Tom, what makes you think that, and I'm not trying to be combative here, but what makes you think that Napier is better than Kelly? I don't get that. Jimmy, I sent you a message. Jay, you're hilarious. LSU may be facing sanctions too with the Title IX investigation, so that's kind of out there. Welcome back to the Rundown, final segment of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you can feel free to call in 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join us here today. CFP rankings come out tonight. I think it's going to go like this. Georgia will be number 1. I don't know how far. I don't know if they're going to drop Alabama much. We shall see. Michigan should probably be number 2, I would think. And then after that, you should work your way down here with Alabama at 3, Cincinnati at 4, maybe Oklahoma State at 5, and then Notre Dame at 6, and then Ohio State at 7, and then go from there. So that's kind of how I think it's going to go tonight. The bumper car scenario that's out there, if Cincinnati loses, I think that may push Notre Dame up into the top 4. Alabama and Georgia play each other. I would like to think that the loser of that game could be out, but a lot of that depends on what happens in the other games. If you look at it from the perspective of, hey, you've got Michigan as a Big Ten champ, and you've got Cincinnati that's undefeated, Oklahoma State that's undefeated. Excuse me, they'll have the one loss. They win the Big 12. How do you put a one-loss team that did not win their championship in over these other teams? Just saying. It's a mess. And someone's going to have to explain it. Do you put I don't know, let's say that Alabama wins over Georgia, which I don't think is going to happen. But if that happens, Georgia's been your number one team all season. I'm not disputing that at all. Just saying that the CFP committee is going to have to explain themselves at some point. Georgia loses, and it throws this whole thing into a kilter. Do you take a Notre Dame team that has the one loss? Do you take the Cincinnati? Cincinnati's probably going to make it regardless if they win. But the two things that could throw it into turmoil, in my opinion, are if Georgia and Cincinnati lose. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to call if you want to join us here on the rundown. Brandon says, Dinich of ESPN said Georgia is the only team in, win or lose. Okay. I mean, that may happen. If it's close, they definitely have an argument. But you know what? I think there's a level of pride that comes, that hopefully comes with that Georgia program where it says, you know what? We want to win every game we play and knock off Alabama in the SEC championship game and hang that SEC championship banner in addition to the national championship too. I think that's out there. I hope that's out there with them. I don't think they're going in thinking, all right, just winning the national title is the most important thing. I think they want to win it all. Maybe. In my opinion, though, I think that I think Georgia's going to win this weekend. I think it's going to be a very close game, though. I don't know if they're in regardless or not. We shall see. I don't think it matters because I think they win. But I think Cincinnati has a better chance of losing than Georgia does. So let's put that out there. 803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. That is the number to call if you'd like to join us here on the rundown this afternoon on Fox Sports Radio 1400. You know, we haven't really talked a little bit about this. There is a segment of the Gamecock fans that want Marcus Satterfield fired, the offensive coordinator for the Gamecocks. It's kind of humorous to me because this guy had an offense left to him by Will Muschamp, who's, ruined two SEC programs and, forgot to recruit quarterbacks, wide receivers, offensive linemen. He forgot to do all of that. But, hey, we've got to fire Marcus Satterfield because he comes in and he didn't do exactly what we thought that he could do with the guys that were here. I think that's kind of harsh, especially after one season. Let's go out to the phones. Welcome into the rundown. Good afternoon.
Okay, here's your college football playoff. Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, and if Oklahoma State wins, they're in, and if not, Notre Dame is in. That's your college football playoffs.
Fair enough, man. Hey, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, there's that too. There's that too. As the comment section's on fire today. Wow. I can't repeat half of it, but it's over there. My goodness, you guys are on fire today over there. Anyway, there's also the threat of maybe Brent Venables going from Clemson to Oklahoma. And, some of the names that have been put out there, Fox Sports had a list yesterday that it was Venables, Shane Beamer, and Jamie Chadwell. Those were like the three names that were there. Mark Stoops was also on the list, but he signed an extension today he agreed to an extension today with Kentucky, so he's not going anywhere. It's a vacuum, ladies and gentlemen, and all the coaches are in the mix right now, and they're if you're a big name program, you're kind of running out of time. In my opinion, I think that what should happen is if you're at Notre Dame, you need to hire Marcus Freeman, your defensive coordinator, who everybody thinks is the next great thing and who would absolutely, most likely love that job. Hire him there, convince Tommy Rees to stay as your offensive coordinator, and then go from there. You keep a bunch of the recruits that you've got. Notre Dame's still at a pretty highly rejected, highly rated recruiting class, and then go from there. That's what I would do if I were Notre Dame. If I were Oklahoma, there are lots of things that you could conceivably do. They've hired Bob Stoops as their interim guy, or they've named him as their interim guy. I don't know if he wants to coach for the long term, but right now it's interesting that they made him the interim job. They gave him the interim job over some of the guys that are there. Oh, and I forgot to play this. Hold on. Josh Heupel. Thanks to Lose Hypocrisy for mentioning Josh Heupel for a moment. I've got to play this bit from Josh Heupel really quick before we get out of here. Josh Heupel was on the air this morning, and he was asked about the job on the Eric Cagle show. And this is what Heupel said.
What's up with the Oklahoma deal, Coach?
As you build a successful program with your staff and players, certainly, your name has an opportunity to come up for different openings. For myself and my family, we absolutely love Knoxville, and we came to Tennessee because of the power of the T, believed in the power of the fan base, and the opportunity to build something extremely special. It's a program that's top 10 in the history of college football wins and first-round draft picks, and had been through, some uncertainty in recent times, but we love being in Knoxville. That's home for us. I love being in the building with our staff and our players, and I know I feel stronger today than I did 10 months ago when I first took the job about what we're going to be able to do and how quickly we're going to be able to get there. I know we're building a championship caliber football team and program, and excited to continue on that venture with our current players and staff.
All right. So what he said there was, I like Tennessee, but he didn't say anything about Oklahoma. Didn't say anything about Oklahoma. Open-ended, in my opinion. You can like Tennessee, but you can love Oklahoma. It's kind of where he went to school. We'll see what happens with that. Interesting the way that he had marbles in his mouth there at the beginning of the question. So we'll follow that as we roll along this evening. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, @RobSoundsGood. Podcast will be up at 5 o'clock today, and the blog page is active as well. Make sure you check that out. It's at foxsportsradio1400.com. All right, Lawton Swaddle, Clemson Sports Talk is next. We will see you tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I said when I heard it. I was like, yeah, that's not a no. That's just, I like it here. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out. Hey, you guys are awesome. I appreciate all of you, man. We'll talk to you later on.